Welcome, everyone. Today, we're diving into the mind of a man who knew a thing or two about making a dollar and turning it into a fortune. We're talking about none other than P.T. Barnum, the legendary showman, entertainer, and entrepreneur. While you might know him for his circuses and famous hoaxes, his book, The Art of Money Getting, is a treasure trove of surprisingly timeless wisdom on wealth and success. This isn't just a book about getting rich quick. It's a profound look at human nature, offering a roadmap built not on luck or secret schemes, but on a foundation of sound, disciplined principles. Barnum's central argument is simple but powerful. While it might be easy to make money, the real challenge, the true art, is learning how to keep it. The simple secret to wealth. Barnum starts with a simple, almost laughably obvious truth. The road to wealth, he says, is as plain as the road to the mill. It's a single rule that most people know, but few actually follow. Expend less than you earn. He uses a wonderful analogy from Charles Dickens's character, Mr. Micawber. Imagine you make £20 a year. If you spend £20 and sixpence, you are the most miserable of men. But if you make £20 and spend £19 and sixpence, you are the happiest of mortals. That sixpence difference, a tiny margin of profit, is the key to everything. It's the difference between a life of constant stress and one of freedom and security. This is the central tension of the entire book, the one between acquiring and retaining wealth. You can have a knack for earning, but if you don't master the art of saving, you'll never achieve true independence. The pitfalls of false economy. Barnum is quick to point out that many people think they understand this principle, but they really don't. They fall victim to what he calls false economy, or what Dr. Franklin called saving at the spigot and wasting at the bunghole. He gives a few brilliant examples of this. There's the person who obsesses over saving cheese pairings and candle ends, cutting a few pennies off a laundry bill, but then squanders money on big-ticket items. He tells a story about a farmer's wife who is so proud of saving a few dollars by not burning a second candle in the evenings that she feels she can afford to go to town and spend $20 or $30 on frivolous ribbons and furbelows. This isn't true economy. It's a distorted, one-dimensional view of saving. The key isn't to be a miser, but to make the income consistently exceed the outgo. True economy isn't about meanness. It's about rational saving over irrational spending. To combat this, Barnum offers a simple recipe. Keep a detailed ledger of your expenses. Divide your spending into two columns, necessities and luxuries. He guarantees you'll find the luxury column is often double, triple, or even 10 times larger than the necessities. This exercise forces you to confront the reality of where your money is going and helps you gain control. The dangers of Mrs. Grundy and the golden spoon. Barnum's one of most insightful observations is his critique of social vanity. He uses the character of Mrs. Grundy to represent the societal pressure to keep up with the Joneses. It's the fear of what Mrs. Grundy may say that keeps the noses of many worthy families to the grindstone. This pressure is a powerful force of financial ruin. Barnum tells the story of a man with a modest income who sees a wealthy friend and feels compelled to show him that I am as good as he is. He can't afford a horse and buggy, so he rents one to ride on the same road as his rich friend, all to prove a point to a man who probably doesn't care. This foolish pursuit of heirs leads his poor wife to scrub her fingers off and buy tea 2 ounces at a time just to maintain the illusion. Barnum is clear, you can't make people believe you're rich by putting on a show. In America, he notes, the man makes the business. Your worth isn't in your possessions, but in your character and integrity. It is much wiser to be a law unto ourselves and regulate our spending by our income, rather than by what others might think. This leads to another key observation. The poor boys get rich, and the rich boys get poor. Barnum argues that the person who earns their fortune understands its true value because they know the effort it took to acquire it. A person who inherits money, on the other hand, is often unprepared. They were born with a golden spoon in their mouth, spoiled and flattered their entire lives. They end up squandering their inheritance on fast horses and expensive parties, not because they are inherently bad, but because they have no foundation of discipline or self-denial. The cardinal rules of success. Integrity is the foundation of all success. He argues that honesty is more precious than diamonds or rubies. To be dishonest is not only wicked, but it's the very essence of stupidity. Why? Because as soon as your lack of principle is discovered, nearly every avenue to success is closed against him forever. No matter how polite or accommodating you are, if people suspect false weights and measures, they will avoid you. The honest man, even a poor one, has the purses of the entire community at his disposal because everyone knows he will keep his word. Barnum also stresses the importance of finding the right vocation and location. He believes everyone is born for a wise purpose with a unique set of aptitudes. Trying to force a career that goes against your natural genius is a recipe for a life of working uphill. Once you've found the right calling, you must also choose the right location. You can be the best hotel keeper in the world, but if you set up shop in a village with no travel, you're doomed to fail. And once you're on the right path, you must persevere. Barnum, a man who saw his share of ups and downs, knows that success isn't a straight line. Many people get close to their goal and then lose faith and give up. He reminds us of the proverb from Solomon, "He becometh poor that dealeth with a slack hand, but the hand of the diligent maketh rich." This is where self-reliance comes in. You can't borrow trouble or be blown about by every wind of advice. You have to trust your own judgment and keep moving forward. The Entrepreneur's Toolkit, from advertising to employees. Barnum's experience as a showman gives him a unique perspective on the practical side of business. He's a huge proponent of advertising. He argues that even the best product or service is useless if nobody knows about it. He compares advertising to farming. You must both sow the information before you can reap the rewards. His most famous anecdote on this topic is about Jeanin, the hatter, who bought the first ticket to a Jenny Lind concert for an astounding $225. This wasn't an act of foolishness. It was a masterful publicity stunt. The news of Jean and the Hatter buying the ticket spread across the country, making his name a household word almost overnight. The result, he sold 10,000 extra hats per year. It was a perfect example of first getting people's attention and then winning them over with a quality product. He also provides essential advice on managing people. He argues that the eye of the employer is often worth more than the hands of a dozen employees. A person must be intimately involved in their business to truly understand it. He also advises hiring the best people you can find, emphasizing that hands are not worth a great deal without heads. He uses a delightful analogy from Henry Ward Beecher, where an employer seeks a person with a brain that thinks, and thinks all over. These are the valuable employees, and once you find them, you should do everything you can to keep them. The wisdom of a self-made man. Reading Barnum's work, it's clear he's a man who practices what he preaches. He speaks with the authority of someone who has lived these principles. He candidly shares his own struggles, like the time he smoked so many cigars that he trembled like an aspen leaf before finally quitting. He uses his own successes, from his museum to his traveling shows, to illustrate his points, making the advice feel personal and authentic. The Art of Money Getting is more than a financial guide. It's a character-building manual. Barnum presents the money getter not as a greedy villain, but as a potential benefactor of our race. He sees wealth as a tool that, when earned with integrity and used with a sense of responsibility, can enlarge the scope of human happiness. While some of his stories feel like they're from a bygone era, the core philosophy is as fresh as ever. In a world of fleeting trends, instant gratification, and the constant pressure to keep up, Barnum's golden rules are a grounding force. They remind us that the most reliable path to financial freedom and a meaningful life is through self-reliance, discipline, and above all, unwavering integrity. So, if you want to get ahead, don't wait for luck to turn up. Don't rely on borrowed money or foolish schemes. Instead, as Barnum says, tie your camel and trust in providence. Do your part and the rest will follow.